All right. What do you think? Fire in the hole, brother?
Fire in the hole.
All right, man. Knuckles. Here we go. You know, this would help. You dumbass. You absolute dumbass.
I don't know, because I don't work any of this shit, man.
Shut up. Just shut up. Just shut the hell up.
Well, you know what? I don't work any of this, but I fix it all the freaking time.
Okay.
Man.
Do you think we should just keep this out there?
Keep what? This?
Is what we're talking about
Oh,
right now?
yeah.
Okay,
Blooper shit, man. Fuck yeah.
We won't even publish the bloopers. This is it. This is one big blooper.
There you go.
35, 45 minutes of bloopers. Okay, here we go. All right.
I listen to a little Seeger on the way.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah. You know what? I was playing this in the car and going, Seeger, baby.
You can never really turn Seeger away.
No,
you know,
you
when
can't.
you're like, oh yeah, I gotta listen.
It's Seeger, dude. I mean,
it's the Midwest. We're an hour from Detroit, man.
Absolutely. You know, clean me some glasses on that. You are absolutely right. Seeger is just that. I mean, he's like bread. You know, you just like...
Yeah, you got to have it, and it's always there.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. He is just part of the... Yeah.
That was good. Fuck, somebody write that down.
Yeah, like...
Oh, we're taping. We're good.
That's right. Where's this guy at?
Nice.
So, yeah, this
but
is...
yeah, I took my son. I took my son to see Seeger
Did you
last
really?
time. Oh, yeah, we had great seats down on the floor, man. It was rocking.
Man. It just... Everybody that's gone to a Seeger concert, they just love it. You know, just...
That's kind of our thing, me and my boy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a hairband metalhead, you know, like Dad, shocker.
Yeah, amazing. Right.
But by the time I get parked, and you walk in, and we like to get there early.
Right.
And I get a couple beers in me, whatnot, and so the T-shirt line is $45-$50 for a T-shirt, concert T-shirt.
Yeah.
But they're good ones now. It's not like the $7 one out in the parking lot that everything bleeds out the first, as you sweat.
Dude.
But by the time I sit down, just from parking alone, I'm like $120 in the hole.
Yeah.
It's like, good God.
Oh God, I wish I still had some of those.
I remember
T-shirts.
when I went to a concert with like a $20 bill when I was in junior high and come home with $5.
And you had money left for beer. Lots of beer, right?
yeah. Oh, I got $2. I can get a couple dubs, man. You know,
red, white, and blue, or something like that. I mean, yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, no doubt about it. But some of those old shirts I used to have. Oh gosh, those things would be worth money today.
Oh, he's got so many of them too, man. And he's got quite the extensive collection of black concert T-shirts.
Remember,
man.
they always had the album on the chest.
Oh yeah,
and on the back was the cities. That the tour cities.
His T-shirt collection rivals Hyde from that '70s show. Do you remember all the great Zeppelin and Stones T-shirts he had? My boy's collection, a couple generations past, but is comparable to that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. And he's not going to get much bigger, so he can wear them shirts for another 20 years.
Oh man, because they were like the 3/4 sleeves. They were always the 3/4 sleeve shirts, and they were like all weather. I mean, those. I wish I had some of those left. Because the colors were always great. You're right. They faded after. Don't put them in the wash with any whites.
No,
right?
no.
Because it was just, would have just ruined everything. But those are just great, great memories.
Yeah, so he was good. He was really good in concert, man. 66 years old.
He is.
He's getting it.
He is. I mean, and he still just plays it. So, hey, you know what this is? This is the 6th. Can you believe that? So that means 5 seconds per, the best of.
That means no one shut us down for 5 weeks is what that means.
Yeah. So this is number 6 on podcast of
Fire.
And Brimmstone. Give me some knuckles there, man. Yeah, so this is Wednesday. What is this? The October 12th, I think it is.
Oktoberfest?
No, 12th. Yeah, it is 12th. Oh, boy, like we know. Yeah. Jeez, time goes by so damn fast.
Payday's coming. I get to have money for like 7 seconds.
Until it goes to everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, what have you been doing over the past week? What's been going on? I know. Usually, you always say, "Well, I've been sitting around. I've been sitting around watching football. That's all I've been doing."
I did get my fair share of that.
Okay,
of
all
course. Right. But me and my son, we did go to a movie this weekend.
What's that? Tell me.
Magnificent Seven.
No shit.
That was a great movie.
Was it?
Yeah, have you seen the first one? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
On TBS and everything.
Yeah.
It's really good. It is a really good movie. Denzel and Chris Pratt are excellent. And I tell you who steals the show is Vincent D'Onofrio.
Really?
Yes, he steals the show. He's this goofy, this oddball kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's a demolition guy, and he steals the show, man. He's so quirky and oddball. It's perfect for him. But they all flowed very well, and it was a good Western. Lots of people getting shot up, and
it's beautiful,
unbelievable scenery, man. I don't know if they computer graphic that or not, or if it was on scene, on site.
Now, I heard an interview with the director, and he said that the first thing they had to do is train these guys on horses, because most of them never been on horses before. So that was the first thing, was get them on that. But I forget where they said that they were actually, filming.
It was unbelievable, the back scenes and the backdrops, man. It was just wow.
But let's see. So Denzel Washington played the role of Yul Brynner.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the first one.
Yeah, I don't remember who. Who's
I only know this because
I
heard it. I only heard this because I heard the interview with the director. So it's just. So if anybody thinks I'm really smart about this shit, no, that's not the case at all. I just I've got short-term memory. That's all.
Yeah.
But
They were the Rainbow Cowboy team. Back in the 1800s.
That's beautiful. So this is like an official, movie recommendation.
Thumbs up, man! Well, you're going to a Western, and if you like Westerns, you'll enjoy the hell out of this one because it's well done.
Is this one for everybody, moms, dads? Everybody watch that?
You're going to a Western, so
right.
you're gonna. There's no graphic, nudity kind of stuff, but and people are getting shot up.
It's just fun.
When people get shot up.
Well,
with,
plus the actors.
Yeah. People get shot up with shotguns and Colt 45s.
Geez, we're going.
It's a little messy, but life was a little dirty back then.
It was a little bit different back there. It's a rough life. There's no doubt about that. So I tell you what, there was so much football going on Saturday and Sunday, in fact, you and I were just banging on the text back and forth about all the different games that were going on over the weekend. And so why don't we just go ahead and start about... well, wait a minute. Before we do that... Sorry. What am I waiting for?
Come on, man.
Smack me upside the head.
I told you this before we started.
Man. Yeah, go ahead.
This is how you watch sports at this time of the year in the Midwest. Because everything is playing. You've got hockey. You've got basketball has now started preseason. You've got football in full swing. You've got college football in full swing.
Yeah.
And now you got baseball. It's always... playoffs beats a regular season game.
Yeah.
And then between regular season games, it's divisional games.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hierarchy to this, man, and you can't skip baseball.
This is kind of like
playoffs.
This
is pretty much the
a flush beats
this
a
is a straight flush.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So we're going with that.
We got to try. We got to talk about it, and we got an Ohio team alive still. The Tribe, man.
Last week I was going. Red Sox, Cubs, World Series. Well, I tell you what, I'm all in.
Yeah,
that's that was. I hope nobody put money on that.
I wish you were that bad in the football picks. I wouldn't look so freaking bad, man. But yeah.
But I tell you what, who would have predicted that our Indians would have just run the table the way that they did? In that first series there. Mm-hmm. Against the Red Sox. The Red Sox.
Yep.
That's impressive. They were, we were looking at last week percentages, what the rankings were, who was going to,
Yeah, exactly.
And they
were like 6.4% to win the series. They were the lowest ranked team
of all
win
the teams.
World Series.
That's right.
All the teams left. And they sent Boston home in a heartbeat, man.
I tell you what, and impressively too.
I feel bad for Pappy.
You
hate to see a career end like that, but
careers come to an end.
Next,
they come to an end next. He's going to be fine. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
You know what? I hope he does some announcing and stuff because I love to hear him talk, man. He's got that accent, and he's always jovial, and he knows the game, and he's really a very smart baseball player. He's a very mentalist. He's a big mentalist at the plate with that stick.
You ever hear John Kruk? He's on ESPN.
Oh yeah,
He just loves life. I'm positive there are beers behind the microphone.
Kruk would be the perfect one for this third seat right here. Would he not?
Dude, would that be something else to get John Kruk?
That's my goal for the end of season one. I'm finding Kruk.
Oh my gosh, that would be something else.
Fuck, where's Waldo? Where's Kruk?
He would just step back. Just get back, boys. Let me show you how it's done. That guy is just something else.
Yeah, the beer's over there.
The beer's
bro.
over there. You just keep it going, okay? No, that would be some of those. But you're right. He just got give him all the credit in the world, Big Pappy. he just, he's got that demeanor. He's got and everybody says everything about him that he is just so good for the community. He, he gives back everything, and just, he's just a good person all the way around. So, kudos to him. The career had in. Bye. Okay, next. It's let's move on. And so, the Indians Friday night they go up against the Blue Jays. Yeah. The Blue Jays were in the ALCS last year.
And who picked the Blue Jays?
I tell you what, I got to give you credit.
Who picked the Blue Jays?
Yeah, you know what? There is, unfortunately, there is tape out there for everybody to listen to.
There's evidence of my genius.
Yeah. So you did that. And then on the National League side,
I hope I'm wrong at this point. I want Cleveland in. But,
I want Cleveland. I just there's something about.
I don't think they're getting past Toronto. But.
Terry Francona, I think, is just one of the best. Managers out there. I mean, this guy, we talk about it week in and week out. We talk about, how do the Patriots do it all the time? It's he is right up there with those guys. He just does the most with the least.
Yes.
You just don't hear, the big names, but he just does it.
He adds a dimension to the game. He changes the game. He's not a player, but some managers, there's just not much influence on the game.
Right.
He influences the game in a very big way with the decisions he makes.
Yeah.
He's on top of it. He's very, very, very good. I mean, he did it in Boston. Where they get 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, hello.
2 or 3, yeah.
I think they got 3. I think Francona got 2 of them.
That's right. I think Francona got 2 of them. That's right.
Multiple World Series. I mean.
And so now on the National League side, when you look at the Cubs, they have a similar thing where they got Joe Maddon, the same thing. Yeah. This guy, they seem to be just flatliners. They don't get up, they don't get down. They just, they just manage the game.
Those are 2 guys I imagine walking into a freaking corner dive bar and sitting there on the end, and they've been there since like 3:30.
That's right.
What I mean?
Nobody knows who they are.
And at 5:00 they're going to get a burger and fries and have a couple more beers and then go home.
Yeah, nobody knows who they are. They're just
Walter
sitting back
Mitty
down there.
kind of dudes, man. Yep. Just schmoes, and they're freaking brilliant.
Yeah. So I am, and then the Cubs are going to go up against either the Dodgers or the Nats. Who do you like in that way? I mean, it just,
My boy Joel lives out in L.A. It would be nice for the Dodgers to do something, but I want the Nats. I want to see Harper, be in the series.
Okay,
we'll
have to get...
brash. People love him or hate him, and most seem to hate, other than Washington. And some of them are like, "Wow, you're kind of an asshole, dude. You're friggin' awesome." So we're going to tolerate it. I really want to see what he can do in a situation like that, man.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous.
And and then the Cubs have Chris Bryant, who's just this young superstar who's going to be around for the next 20 years.
And both those guys play hard.
Man. I know they do.
They don't, But if you're either one of those guys in the millions you're dealing with, it's game number 97 of 162, and there's that ball. I can go bust my ass and turn that into a long single, or just chill and blade off the wall for a double.
These guys,
I'm going all out. I'm diving to try and make the out.
That's right.
It's
they do it.
It's refreshing to see, man. They're young and dumb.
Yeah.
They're young and dumb. They're just out there playing. Remember when Griff was like that? Young in the Seattle days, he was just fearless. He was getting all banged up. You're like, that'll hurt in a few years.
But right now we're just going to do it.
Just go,
absolutely. I mean, it's a good call on that. I mean, it's going to be. Let's see. I think they play tomorrow night. That is the Nats and the Dodgers. So that's going to be a fun one.
I'm going Nats.
I'm going to go with you on that. I'm going to go with you on Nats. So it's going to be the Cubs and Nats then. Assuming that they win on Saturday night. And then by this time next week, we're going to have a pretty good idea who probably will be getting in this series. I mean, not yet, but, we have a feel.
I'm sure our predictions will change after a couple, 3 games.
Since we have like 2 listeners, we're not going to ruin anything, right?
The more data you get, the more accurate you are, right?
Absolutely. I like what you're putting down there, dude. So, this is baseball season. And you're right. Now, I think in the next series, they have 7 game series.
It needs to start getting chilly, though.
It will get chilly.
It's we've had this little Indian summer, man, which I am not going to complain.
I'm not going to complain about that, too.
We need those Chicago games at night. they need to be a little brisk.
You know
what I mean? Let's get that chill in the air. You hit that bat, you hit that ball just not right with that bat. You get that shock through your hands, and you're like, oh.
Okay, I got to tell you this. Back in '87, I remember this. The Tigers and the Twins played in the playoffs.
Yep.
And so it's Old Tiger Stadium. And Old Tiger Stadium was 440 feet to dead center. And it said 440. It was maybe a little bit shorter than that, but whatever. But then you go up in the upper deck in center field.
Yep.
And so we get tickets on a Sunday night. Myself, my dad, and a cousin of mine. 3 of us, we go to the Tiger game. And we are in the upper deck in center field. So we're probably sitting 500 feet away from home plate. When you look at it.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Project it out, yeah.
It's like about 40-degree night.
Oh, is it wind coming off
actually,
the lake?
it wasn't too bad.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad. But we're sitting up there, and we had this perfect look when the pitcher threw and he hit the catcher's mitt. We were so far away. We would watch the ball hit the mitt, and it was a second later when we actually heard it.
Wow.
Because it was such a crisp night.
Yeah,
you heard that with that whap right in the mitt. And it was like you would see it, and then you hear it like a second later.
Lights, faster, and sound.
That was a long ways away. But
there's a physics lesson for the day. Lights,
really.
faster than sound.
You know what?
You
learn know that?
there, yeah.
Really, no kidding. I mean, chalk that up. You learn that at fireandbrimmstone.com. Wow, that's amazing. So, so that's our love for baseball. I mean, this is going to be fun over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to get really intense, man.
I'm looking forward to it.
Really intense.
Looking forward to it. So, now, since I already tipped my hat, about 10 minutes ago, what do you think? You want to talk about some college football?
Yeah, we have to.
What a complete schmuck on my part, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, right away, Houston plays who? Navy. It just, I never even knew I didn't even see who Houston was playing last weekend. I'm looking at the score, and I'm like, Houston's being...
You're not looking because you're like, oh, they're in that conference.
Yeah,
they're
that's
just
right.
going to run through it, and let's hope they have enough points at the end. Yeah. Navy's a squad.
I tell you what, Navy,
squad.
You can't turn them down. I mean, all the kudos to Navy. Give them all the credit in the world.
They're bad man pajamas.
And they played, when you look at that, they played all 4 quarters. It wasn't like they, let up in one quarter, because they scored 21 points in the third quarter. So they were playing that game, and they were out there to win. And they're 4-1. They're 4-1 right now. So you got to give Navy all the credit in the world. Then you look at Michigan. What do you want to say about Michigan? Absolutely.
Oh,
Do you think they won that game?
Yeah. They reminded Rutgers why they're not supposed to be in the Big Ten.
Do you think somebody's going, should we really have done that? Is
it too late to cut down to the MAC?
I mean,
I think there's quite a few MAC schools that rough him up too, man. But anyways, you know what? They got pummeled last week by the Bucks,
58-0.
And you know what? In Michigan, and the Jersey kid Jabril, I'll do everything on the field. Peppers.
I still think he's selling stuff in the stands too. Souvenirs and stuff like that. Yeah,
the damage was done early enough.
Yeah.
He had plenty of time.
Yeah, he did. Because you're right. Harbaugh put in all the second, third stringers.
Yeah, but a couple of things. One, first of all, how cool is it that, Mr. Jersey guy, New York area, Jabril gets highlighted in that game?
Right.
And I think that was a conscious effort on Harbaugh's part, which is beautiful. I mean, kid deserves it, right?
Yep.
And the kid can play. He had, 3 carries for 74 yards and 2 dirts.
Go figure.
He had a return punt called back.
Right.
I mean,
which was
how many
for another
tackles did he have?
60-some yards.
I mean, he's all everything. But Michigan, they're trying. Your second, third stringers aren't going to let up.
Yeah,
they're trying to play football. And here's the deal: if you ain't good enough to stop them, then call the game. I don't know what to tell you. Call the game.
It is what it is.
Take a knee? No,
you're not going to do that.
No, I'm going to work on some things and try and get better because. God forbid, what if your starters go down? What happens?
Yeah.
These guys come in. Well, guess what? They got 16, 18 minutes against Rutgers. They got some playing time. No, you don't take a knee. the world, doesn't play nice anymore.
And I'm going to say this: that I'm sure that Harbaugh is looking at. They get an off week this week.
Yep.
And they said this is our last chance to get in, some reps, some real reps against another team.
And if you're missed, you're not watched, you may drop.
That's right. That's right.
And that could cost them in the end. I mean, it's. There's a lot of political and there's a lot of end season motivations to it. But at the end of the day, you can't tell your kids who are second and third stringers who are playing for a major university, go sandbag.
Right. No, they're
playing for the future. They're playing football now, and they're fighting. Hey, maybe I'll get noticed. Maybe I'll have a little more playing time. Stop them. Run the continuous clock. Do something, man. Throw the white flag. If you can't stop them, that's your problem.
Yeah.
No participation trophies, in college football.
And now Washington spanked Oregon. I mean, has Oregon taken a fall? I mean, 2 years ago, they're playing Ohio State in the championship game.
Yeah. They have, man. They're in disarray, but Stanford is just wrecked.
2 weeks in a row.
What is going on there?
I mean, that is just, I mean, they were riding high, and then, but then we've seen a lot of overrated teams this year. I mean, Florida State, even though you were Texans of Florida State love there, because what did they do on Saturday? They
they smacked Miami around. Yeah. Florida State is now 14 and Miami's 16. So in your face.
And then Oklahoma, I think it was a little bit overrated, but they won a nail burner. It's just a barn burner.
Let's talk about the top 10 though.
Okay, go ahead.
The Big Ten has 4 of them.
I tell you what, nothing wrong with that.
I mean, of course it's. It's this part of the season. Next week one of them is going to get knocked out.
We know that.
I mean, so you play each other, but we got 4.
Yeah.
So you SEC lovers out there who only have 3 right now.
Actually, I read something earlier this week, and I had to
zip it.
Bang on me if this is wrong, but I thought I read this is the latest in the season that the Big Ten's had 4 teams in the top 10. In quite a while. That they've had that many in the top 10. So that's pretty cool.
ACC has 2.
Yep. And then what do we have in? Okay, so SEC clearly.
You got the Pac-12. You got Washington, the loner out there.
Yeah, and then so that's and then let's talk about the big games this weekend then, because Bama.
There's a couple.
Bama takes on number 9 Tennessee. There's your a top 10. That's going to be an interesting game. Tennessee's coming off of maybe the best game last weekend. And that was against
the best game
Texas
to watch.
A&M.
It was, man.
That was fun because you and I went back and forth on texting on that, about a couple dozen texts as we were watching that game.
Tennessee, they're a heartthrob team. I mean, they win the week before on a freaking Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And then they're going double overtime in this thing, and get beat, unfortunately. But I mean, I would have really liked to see them win and go into the Bama game really riding a high, but. Maybe.
Did you see that play?
Which play?
Did you see that play where it was the Texas A&M player? He just broke out. What was it? A pass or just a run? He had like a 60-yard, and he went right down to like the 1-yard line, and the Tennessee player came up from behind him,
caught him,
and it just knocked the ball out from underneath him.
Beautiful.
And it pushed the ball out of the end zone. And
touchback!
Yeah, it was a touchback.
That's beautiful.
It was absolutely. Give that kid all the credit in the world because man, he just absolutely he
That's
played.
What I mean.
He didn't let up in the play.
Yeah, Tennessee's heart's back. They're playing for their coach now. There was a guy from my high school went to Tennessee back in the day. They were pretty good back then. Peyton was there. Tennessee's always been kind of a contender in the East. I mean,
they have.
And here lately, won a title. But
more often they've been a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
The
They're the heartbreak team.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to break that shit. And I thought they kind of did last week, maybe with the Hail Mary. And to go to double OT and get beat, man. I mean, it's number 8 versus 9. I mean, how?
I was watching that game. That was just a fun game. That was just a stupidly fun game. You always have a couple of those games like that, and that was definitely the one. And then the other big game coming up this weekend, let's talk about it, It is
Kansas and Baylor.
Oh, that's You know what? Yeah. You know what though? Somewhere out there, everybody's going, God, I can't wait for that game this weekend. You can't, Kansas playing Baylor. I mean, this is it. You know, it is a rivalry somewhere.
Well, not with our listeners yet. I don't think
the dungeon down here.
Yeah, we haven't penetrated the Southwest yet.
But that would Kansas and Baylor. But
the Buckeyes and Cheese Brothers, man. 8 o'clock late game at Camp Randall.
You know what?
What a recipe for disaster for the Bucks.
Tell you what, Wisconsin
Cheese Brothers has always been a pain in our ass for about 12, 15 years,
man.
You
summarized it a hell of a lot better than I was going to. Just that's it. That's exactly what they've been.
Growing up as a young kid, man, it was just they were an automatic W.
And
then Alvarez showed up, man, and turned it around, and then the Cooper era, and they were pimping us.
And they just do it every single time.
Now it's almost like a voodoo thing. I hate those bastards.
I wonder if
they're a good team, man. They're just
don't take anything away from them. It wasn't like Michigan just absolutely beat them when they lost.
No,
2 weeks ago.
They got a young quarterback and they're a little one dimensional, man. I mean, but you know what? You can be one dimensional with a great defense and win.
They're going to be better. They're going to get better, and Ohio State's got to know that they're going to be better than they were against Michigan 2 weeks ago. It's just the way it works, and I
concur.
But every time they go up there. Yeah, they just
every time they go up here, it's an 8 o'clock game.
It is. You're right. Every time it's at night, it's never during the day.
And Wisconsin is one of the most rowdiest places in the world to go for a college football game. I mean, it rivals Columbus. I mean, they may be worse.
Yeah,
if you can imagine that.
Now,
you've been to Columbus and you see how ugly it gets for opposing teams.
Now, having said that,
it can get pretty nasty.
Having said that, I've heard universally that Madison is one of the best. It is one of the best college towns in America. It's it ranks up there with Ann Arbor, and
they are loyal as
no shit,
man.
Yeah, they just absolutely.
It's brutal.
Yeah, so that's going to be one
angry, drunk, Cheese Brothers.
What are you doing Saturday night?
I don't know.
I think we should be watching that game. I'm
trying
to find out what's going on, but we're going to have to work on that one.
All right, I'll have the Twitter account up by then. I'll tweet away.
Perfect. We'll be tweeting during that game.
There you go. That's what we'll do.
Oh, that's absolutely perfect.
Little tweets,
love that.
Back and forth. But, they always – so regardless of what time a game starts for Big Ten teams, the drinking starts at 8 in the morning.
Yeah, it does.
So, everybody up in Cheeseland is going to have a good 12-hour drunk in them. The energy and it's nasty.
My gut says that ESPN will have their game day, from Madison.
I think they are.
Yeah, I would think that would be the place to. And no disrespect to Alabama and Tennessee, that'd be a fun one. But it just you're right. Everything we just said,
8, right?
Everything that we just said about going up to Wisconsin.
8-1-9.
Everything we said about going up there, it's just that it is a great place to go watch football and play football. So, and you're right, Barry Alvarez set that tone, and that program has been the same ever since that guy came in there. So, a lot of love for that dude. No doubt about it.
Utmost respect.
It's absolutely beautiful. So, any other games that I was looking for Toledo to see if they're going to crack the top 25. Yeah, they got to be close. They got to be.
Yeah, and they're probably in the 30 in the fringe.
If they'd have beat BYU and BYU beats Michigan State, Toledo would be in the top 25. There's no way that you would keep them out of the top 25.
Without question.
Because BYU goes up to East Lansing and just beats Michigan State like a drum. Seriously.
Michigan State is in shambles.
No shit.
How does that happen?
Absolutely. Man? You are right about that.
And here's the bad part, man. Everybody last year was going with D'Antonio. They made the playoffs. They got smoked, but okay. They're like, wow, they're so consistent now. Yeah. They're one of the established, Where the hell'd you go, man? Sparty, show the hell up.
I know.
The games they are losing, I'm seeing them get their butts kicked.
I
don't know if Michigan State's been like the bully for the last 3 or 4 years, and everyone's tired of it, and now they're smacking a Mac in the mouth. But
it just I don't know what to say about it.
Their quarterback's an old Beantown boy, man. He's a good kid. He's struggling. The offense is struggling. I mean, they're just not doing anything well. Good God.
I feel bad for them.
Oh, I don't want to go to practice with D'Antonio, man. Oh, my God. Oh man, he's probably wiping his ass with 80 grit sandpaper just to get more pissed off. Oh,
he's just.
You ever see him smile on the sideline?
Absolutely not.
Oh my God, him and Saban are the worst, man. It's like the Belichick. They're just always scowling, man.
There is nothing. Yeah, I don't think that he says anything nice.
No.
Even when it wins, he's not going to say anything nice.
Yeah, you're not getting a hug and a kiss from him after the game.
I like the sandpaper though.
Oh yeah, just chafing him. Oh God, you just know he's just so irritated, man. He's not sleeping. I mean, he's an urban disciple, so he's not sleeping. He's losing his freaking mind.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's like, I just got to turn around. His phone is blowing up from boosters. It's just hell, man. It's just hell.
That's beautiful. So
better them than us.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So you know what? We just continue on with the college season. And the FBS should be coming out, I think, in the next week or two.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the first one's going to be coming out, so that's going to be interesting to see how they rank everybody.
Yeah.
Because right now, we're looking at everybody else's poll, but
most of the polls are the top 5 are all the same.
It's a top 5.
The top 5 across the board.
When you look at it, you're absolutely right. They're all the same.
There might be one that's flipped at 5 or 6, but it's Bama, the Buckeyes, Clemson, Michigan, Washington, A&M, and I think there's an A&M Washington, and one of the polls flopped. So.
Yeah, that's about it. And you know what? Louisville is still pretty damn high up there, even with one loss. So they're the highest one-loss team.
Oh, excellent.
At 7. Most of them, you got Louisville at 6 or 7.
So the Ville is still in striking
distance. They are still
in
striking distance because we're going to have a couple other one-loss teams in there. There's no doubt about it. I don't see how.
But if Clemson runs the table, that screws Louisville because Louisville won't get to a championship game.
That is Clemson blacks out Louisville. Because they
Clemson's got to lose to get back. Well, Clemson got to lose twice because they got the tiebreak.
Yep, and then Alabama plays, I think, Texas A&M. So one of those two are going to fall out. You get one loss right in there. Of course, Ohio State, Michigan. It's going to be a one loss. One of those two. We know that for a fact. One of those two teams are going to have one loss. It's going to be interesting.
We know Michigan's going to have a loss. Come on, man.
As much as I want to declare that,
we're not journalists here. This is a podcast, not a journalist. We're not journalists.
All right.
We are pro Buckeye.
You know what we do? Where you mentioned it before, we are looking around here in the dungeon.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. With week 6 and we haven't got a fan base yet. No groupies.
That's right.
Sorry, America.
You know what? We were talking about maybe going down the Northwestern game.
Yes,
that would be fun if we could pull that off, and we would do a special podcast down there if we can get down there. So just we'll find out more this time next week.
There you go.
If we pull that one off, so I'm looking forward to that.
Everyone sit on the edge of your seat.
There you go. So. What do you think that now we move on over to the pro game?
Let's do it.
Do you want to kick off what, we got to call this was just kind of like, embarrassment? It's just, what's another word for embarrassment when we go through our numbers, our prior, week's results?
Putrid.
That's a good start.
Revolting. Money loss.
Yeah. That's why we're in a basement here. Versus,
yeah.
We're in a casino,
we're in a basement of Brimmer's mom's house.
Yeah. It's not quite that bad, but close. That's for sure. So why don't you go ahead and run down our? Actually, we didn't have too bad of a week last week.
No, we didn't, man. And I actually had stellar for me. Pick straight up. I skyrocketed to 64%.
Which is damn good.
Which put me at 53% for the year.
Yeah.
I had another dismal day against the spread at 43%. I'm down. I'm under 50% for the year, man. I'm a hack.
And you were really riding it up
50,
above. Yeah.
I was like 51, man. I was, but
hey, but the fact that we're even near 50%, that's pretty damn good. I mean, but we're still losing. We're still we're still on the streets.
If you want to rationalize sucking that way, that's fine.
Okay,
we'll get it. We're gonna get it together.
Yeah, dumbass.
Well, there's a lot of crazy games that kind of went goofy, man. I mean, the Bears put up 23 points for God's sakes.
Okay,
but anyway, so you went to 64%, the same as me. We were both 9 of 14. You were 57% against the spread, dude.
Yeah,
that's a monstrosity of a day. That's a big dollar day.
That is. Give me some knuckles. I get a smile on my face.
Oh yeah, man. That's a big money day. So now you're at 59, or let's call it 60% for the year,
right?
Straight up versus my 53. You're at 49% against the spread versus my 48. So. we're both broke, and you can pick straight up better than me.
No, I tell you what, the ones that really get me, that I just love it because Vegas, I mean, they've got me smiling. Okay, when you look at the Raiders and the Chargers.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, and they went by 3.
You know, Christ. And then look at the Packers and Giants. Same thing. You know, the Packers beat the Giants by 7 and the spread 7.5. I mean, those guys in Vegas, you got to give those guys credit.
Yep.
They just know how to pull that shit off. It just,
I know.
You know, that would be one to go out there. I tell you what, that would be so fun to be able to talk to those guys. How do they actually do it?
What I don't want to talk to you. Just give me the winners. Just give me the winners.
Let's cut to the chase, right? You know, we'll just go right to that. So, looking ahead to this week, you know, I'm looking at the big game to me. Why don't we just go right into it? The big game to me, the Cowboys
in the pack.
Go up to what a weekend for Wisconsin. You got Madison, got Ohio State coming up there, visiting Madison, and then you get the Cowboys visiting Lambeau Field.
Oh, it's at Lambeau. Oh my God, it's Cheese Brother Festival.
This is it. I mean, this weekend.
Oh my God, and it's Oktoberfest, so all them German Poles up there are just going to be
beer, cheese. I mean, bratwurst. I mean, the whole.
Boy. That is going to be a brutal environment.
You know, if there was a heat map by Budweiser, you know, I mean, where all the sales, you know, beer sales is, it would be like, you know, super red hot, you know, in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's talk about the Cowboys. You got Dax.
Dax is playing like a Pro Bowler right now. Still no interception. He had a small fumble. We're only 5 games in. Your first turnover. I'm going to live,
dude.
It didn't hurt him.
Do you know the stat he's going after right now?
Something most passes
starting your
pick.
career.
Yeah.
Starting your career, most pass attempts without a interception.
Without a pick.
And so Brady is the record holder right now.
Shocker, there.
Imagine that. 163 pass attempts. Dax is sitting at 155. So he's only 8 off. So
just run swing passes to Zeke.
9 of them.
Yeah. Just run 9 swing passes to Zeke. Get that record.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Anything to get a Michigan man out of the record book.
I'm gonna shovel pass it to you. I'm going to, you know, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, man. A little wheelhouse route. We
9
don't care.
of them straight to him. That's it. They're only gonna be 2-yard passes in the air.
Man.
That's
impressive.
That is impressive.
When he stands in the pocket, he just stands with command. He stands tall.
He doesn't look like a rookie.
He's confident, and he's looking downfield. He's making progressions.
He doesn't look like a rookie.
God,
he's throwing the ball when they're still running before they've broken under routes.
You have to, man.
Yeah.
We talked about this. You got to throw guys open in the NFL. You can't. If you look and see a guy's open, by the time the ball gets there, he won't be.
But typically rookies don't do that. They stare him down. They wait till they turn.
How the hell do you come from a game where all your life essentially you're going, oh, that guy's open, and you've always had the skill set to just blast it in there.
Right.
Now you see a guy wide open, and there's 3 guys chewing the ball up, running for a pick 6.
Yeah.
It's supposed to take a while to make that flip in your mind. You know what I mean? To where, oh, he's open, so he's not. Oh, this guy's covered. I'm going to throw him open. That's supposed to take a while. You know, you're not supposed to figure that out right away.
Okay, so now on paper, if I were to submit to you on paper, I would say, okay, you got this NFL team. They get a rookie quarterback, and they got a rookie running back. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, so they've got to be maybe 1 win, something like that.
Well, hold on. Are you giving me any preface on their abilities? Or are you just saying 2 rookies?
2 rookies. 2 rookies.
Okay.
Because
okay. Yeah. Although you do have to make that prefaces that they do have the best offensive line.
I tell you
football.
What.
So you got the best offensive line with 2 rookies starting in the backfield. How do you think your season's going to look?
Because you know what I mean? Who happens to be leading the NFL in rushing?
Oh, Zeke.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's almost 100 yards. He's almost he's like 80-some yards ahead of
That's right.
DeMarco Murray,
That's
former
right.
Cowboy. And how is he not going? Jesus.
Why am I not down there?
If I'd have been there, this would have been like my 4th year with
Absolutely.
1,700 yards.
Absolutely.
They're probably not thinking about drafting Zeke in any way, shape, or form.
And
it's like, and he's like, oh God, I just mucked that one up. But.
And when I was watching the game on Sunday, they made a really cool assessment of Zeke running, and they said the first couple games he was taking like 4 yards. He had to go side to side before he made his cut and then went upfield. Now he's only taking like 2 yards.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're changing the blocking schemes for him, and they're taking advantage of what he does.
He's timing it up. He's timing it up. That they're not really changing schemes. The big boys, they're calling their plays. Yeah. They're doing what they got to do.
That's right.
They're like, okay, we're not catering to you, son.
Yeah. You just follow us.
Follow 2 silver butts. Yeah. Wherever you see 2 silver butts, get in between us. And that's essentially it.
Yeah, that's it.
But he's to go. I can't imagine. I went from high school to like D3 football, and it was like, whoa, holy shit, this is a fucking step. I can't imagine 2 steps up to D1, and then a monumental step to the NFL where the speed is, So, but those guys are so fast. Sometimes you got to let them do their thing, and then get in behind them. And it's when you say an offense is in rhythm, that's exactly what it is, man. You're clicking with them, and it took him. Oh, it took him 2 games.
Yeah.
Took him 40 snaps to frickin' figure it out.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Remember, I anointed him the new, NFL rushing leader in week 1, and he got like 50 yards, right? Okay.
And then I think he got 83 the next.
Yeah. And then I was backpedaling right about there. I was backpedaling all over that. That's right.
Yeah. Zeke might be a bust.
Yeah. Luckily, nobody was listening to us at that time, so I really could get away with it. So, but yeah. There you go. But no, I mean, he's leading. He's so freaking impressive.
He's leading the league, and he's the only rusher in the NFL averaging over 100 yards a game.
Okay, so do the Cowboys have a backup quarterback?
Who cares?
Yeah. Do they have any guys on injured reserve type of thing? The Cowboys, maybe a guy by the name of Romo. Actually,
yeah, he's done.
What do you do?
Well, here's the thing: if Dallas, I don't know when he's supposed to come back, but it's supposedly
6 or 8, something like that.
Don't they have a bye next week, Dallas?
I think they do.
They have a bye. They were hoping he could come back the week after the bye, so 2 weeks. Yeah. If Dallas beats Green Bay,
you got to stick with.
You have to sit Romo.
You can't do that.
You have to sit Romo.
You've got to sit Romo.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that, man, that is just that's dumb. That's dumb.
Do you know who Wally Pipp was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wally Pipp. He was the guy that got hurt at first base. And there was this kid that came up and replaced him. And I think his name was Lou Gehrig.
Yep. Bummer.
It sucks to be you, Wally.
See you in 2,300 games, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
It does suck. And they were talking about that on TV today or earlier this week. The whole adage, when you get hurt, you don't lose your job. Yes, you do.
Dude, this is...
Yes, you do.
They make money. This is a business.
How do you think Tom Brady became God?
Tell me about it.
If Drew Bledsoe doesn't get hurt, New England's still probably going to win a Super Bowl or 2. And Tom Brady's nobody.
We may not even know about that.
No, God, that'd be so nice too, man. I mean,
tuck rule and all that sort of shit.
I mean, last week the guy's running around Italy naked.
I know.
He's got people feeding him grapes and they're pouring wine down his throat like he's some sort of Roman god.
And the suckwide comes back
and then he flies across the pond and shows up and throws for 400 yards.
400 freaking yards. I mean, seriously.
What an asshole. You got to respect the hell out of that. But
he's living life with Giselle, right?
If I was married to Giselle, I wouldn't have clothes on ever either. I mean, that's
geez, good to be Tom Brady, huh?
Yeah.
And his off weeks, he's at the Michigan games.
Oh. Can you imagine the locker room? How bad he's getting roughed up? Yeah, I'm sure that picture of him, with the towel he's getting up, showing his hairy ass.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's plastered all over the locker room, man. It should be just giving him shit,
but man, the dude is just. I mean, that's beautiful. That's what a life.
Alpha. He
is an alpha. I mean,
he's a Michigan alpha, but he's an alpha.
All right, so that's the big. Okay, another question, real quick question. If you were to vote for the Rookie of the Year right now, all right. So, do you go Elliott? Do you go Dax? Do you go Carson Wentz? Those are the 3. Part of me says I go Carson, and here's why: because the Cowboys do have the line. They do have a monster line. I don't think that the Eagles have anything, around.
Well, they don't
Carson.
suck. I mean, they're 3-1.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, he's not getting hit.
No.
I mean, their line's doing something, or whatever they're doing offensively is illuminating the strength of that offensive line. Maybe they're moving him around a bit. I don't know. I haven't watched enough. I'm not watching Philly. I can't watch it. Sorry, bastards. I hate them. But okay, you know, I'm going to go with the simple bias. I'm going Zeke.
Yeah, you might as well. Weekly, I go with Wentz. But that's a weak assessment because you could easily go with Dax or you could go with Zeke.
Zeke
One
is
of those
a complete
two.
football player and a half.
Man. He is going to have all kinds of. He's going to have rings and he's going to have awards throughout his career.
They keep showing highlights of him picking up those blitzes.
I know.
You know, I mean, rookies ain't supposed to pick all that.
No, they're not supposed to pick that shit up.
Not only is he picking it up, he's pancaking people.
He does everything.
Yeah,
he does it all.
He's caught
catches,
several
runs.
nice balls.
That's right.
Man, he's complete. He is so complete.
There are so few, running backs that come out like that. It's just something else. Another big game I like this weekend. It's I got to go. You talked about your Cowboys, my Raiders. I love the rivalry with the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Man, that's like the most. That's one of the fiercest.
That is one of those
AFCs.
That is one of those.
That's an old AFC nasty.
Yep, that is. You get dirty. You're still playing
sixer,
on. Absolutely. Absolutely, you get in the mud, there's a little bit of dirt.
Stabler and Van Egan days.
Yeah. There's always somebody's got blood on their nose and stuff like that. It's just those are always big games. And the Raiders, the cool thing about my Raiders this year, they're winning the games they used to lose. And that is the difference right there.
That is good, man.
That is, that tells you something about the team, that the games that they used to. That's right. That's a great way of putting it. The rest of the games of the schedule, the Phillies and the Redskins. That looks like an intriguing game.
Well, it's a division game, so it matters. It matters being a Cowboy fan. Washington looked shaky, and then they kind of pulled it together. Philadelphia looked freaking unbeatable, and then they take one on the chin to freaking Detroit. Kudos, Lions, but where's that at?
It's in Washington, but the Eagles are favored, 2.5-point favorite. That's interesting.
I think the Eagles.
I'm going Eagles straight up. I'm going Eagles obviously against the spread.
I think the Eagles are going to beat them up.
Yeah,
man. I'm still not sold on Kirk Cousins yet as the Messiah.
I like him.
I do too, man.
I like him.
And you know what? Kudos for putting yourself in a position. To get a franchise tag.
Yeah.
Usually the franchise tag screws somebody out of money.
Right.
The franchise
somebody
tag
loses.
Yeah, because they take the average of the top five. Well,
exactly.
That boosted his money big time because he came in behind RG3.
Yep.
So you franchise tag him, he just got a huge payday, man. I mean, what'd he get, like $13 or $14 million?
Some ungodly amount of money.
$9 million guaranteed.
He got just like Ryan Fitzpatrick with the Jets. He got some god awful. I mean, that guy is just sucking.
Yeah, he knows the play, so he gets $20 million.
He knows where the bathrooms are and stuff like that. He is just absolutely sucking it up. We're looking at. Maybe the Falcons in Seattle. That's an interesting game.
Yeah. I think Atlanta's for real, man. I think Atlanta's taking them.
Atlanta had a bad year last year, but they're coming back this year.
They're looking good.
Yeah, they are. They're actually. And Julio Jones is just that week 2 weeks ago, just stupid.
Yeah,
absolutely stupid.
Is Carson Palmer back this week?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Okay. Yes, I heard that today. That Carson Palmer was coming back.
So.
Oh, it's the Arizona by 7.5 in Arizona.
I wonder if that 7.5 was prior to their knowledge of Carson coming back.
I think it is.
Ooh, so that's probably
that might be 9.5 or 10.
There's going to be a lot of money thrown on the Cardinals. That's going to jump up 7.5. You should probably jump on that.
Heard that this morning.
That's my double shock for next week, man.
That actually is a good one. The rest of them, I'm just kind of, they're nothing that's super duper appealing. That doesn't mean we're not going to.
No, there's going to be some game that just has ridiculous highlights, and it's ridiculous. It comes out of nowhere. Jacksonville and the Bears or somebody. Who knows?
I mean, Jacksonville and the Bears. I mean, I can't wait to watch that one.
Who knows, though, man? Who knows?
I'm sure there's 10 people out there who are really going to be excited about that game. San Francisco and Buffalo. Kaepernick's supposed to play that game. He's supposed to start that game.
That is going to be fun.
Yes.
That is going to be fun.
Let's see how everybody kind of rallies around him.
I hope he gets off. I really do, man. Can you imagine how crazy people are going to go if Cap really gets off and Frisco wins against Buffalo?
Yeah, Blaine Gabbert was showing shit. I mean, you got to go to Kaepernick. You can't just keep doing the same stupid thing you've been doing.
Gabbert's terrible.
He really is, and I think everybody knows that. It's just you got to go with it.
And the bad part is he's not even terrible. He's a phenomenal quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, his skill level is like infinitely above yours and mine, squared. And he sucks in the NFL. You know what I mean? Holy shit.
Yeah, in flag football, he would kick our ass. There's no doubt about that. But
he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's elite, but
it is what it is.
It's how hard it is to find good quarterbacks, man.
One final intriguing game might be the Colts and the Texans because they really both need that game.
Yep.
That's an important game for both of them. That's down in Houston, and the Texans are up by 3. I think the Colts are finally going to get their act together. I mean, they just have been.
Yeah, I don't know where you're coming up with that idea, but okay.
I know it's just it's the beers, the wine combination here. I mean, it tastes pretty
hell,
good.
You're doing better than me. Maybe I should jump on your bandwagon. I don't know.
Yeah, you get a point there. I am actually holding my own this week. So I tell you what, this is. I think we've got a good coverage of everything here, man.
Yeah.
We, baseball. I tell you what, I'm looking by this time next week. We're going to see what the Indians and the Cubs have been doing. We'll have gone through. We'll know what the Bucks and up in Wisconsin with the Cheeseheads, Dallas. I mean, going up to Green Bay. I mean, that's going to be a fun one. It's there's a lot of shit to look forward to here, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time.
I'm going to be parked. Laundry be damned.
And then this time next week, let's work out, see what we can do about heading down to Buckeye Land.
And check out the Wildcats.
Yeah, I tell you what, that would be fun.
Little
the
road
colors
trip.
in there, that would be fun.
Fire and brimstone on the road.
You know it, dude. We got to get shirts and shit like that. It's really stand out.
I could use a shirt that doesn't stink. I just came from the gym. How about I could use a clean shirt? Let's just start there.
So everybody wants to send it to us.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, we'll send out our address.
Yeah.
Well, dude, another fun time.
Yeah, it's too much fun.
You're the man.
All right,
We'll talk to you. Hey, over.
Ciao.
Bye.